Hello, my name is Sara Salvador, and today I'm going to present classroom-based language assessment. Let's begin. Okay, to start off, we need to answer the question, what do we give in assessment in the language classroom? In order to answer this question, we need to understand that an assessment is used in a language class to collect information from students learning a second language. In this particular case, English. Obviously through the different skills. These could be listening, reading, writing, speaking, and the use of English. Students learn the language you are teaching by applying learning tasks. And the outcome would be that they improve their language ability. Now this can be in a school, this can be in an institution, or they could be applying for a specific certification. When we discuss assessment, we need to understand that there are two types of language assessments used in classroom. These can be implicit or explicit. But when we talk about either implicit or explicit, either if they're fast or they're happening at the end of the term, we need to consider summative and formative, that allow teachers to collect information on what they have learned before, during, and after the learning or teaching process. These two forms of assessment allow the teacher to take formative or summative decisions. Okay, when we're talking about formative decisions, we're aiming on improving the instruction and during the learning process. This is that the teacher can change the methodology, have different tasks, can include some gamification, okay? This can be before, during, or after the lesson, and it always involves making changes. When we're discussing summative assessment, these are where the student will benefit from instruction at the appropriate level, or that the students are certified on the basis of mastery. So at the end of a lesson, for example, if a teacher wants to assess the difference between simple present and present continuous, she could take a test at the end, test, assessment, quiz, and know the level so that she could collect the information and continue to the next part of the unit. That would be simple past with past continuous. The next question is, why do we use language assessment? As mentioned before, language assessment is used to collect information on students' language ability. These samples are collected as the progress and the process of the student is evidenced in different forms of assessment, like I mentioned before, summative or formative. Once the information is collected, the results can be interpreted, and formative and summative decisions can be made. These decisions will only bring beneficial consequences for the whole educational community, meaning students, teachers, authorities, okay, in order to know what decisions to take. Stakeholders are crucial when considering these decisions. Now, we're going to discuss three types of stakeholders, and these are low, medium, and high. When we talk about low stakes, these are minor decisions that can be done in the classroom in a quick way. They're easy to correct in the moment, and there are low costs of making a wrong decision, meaning that at the long run, it's not going to be so affected in comparison with high stakes decisions. Medium stakes. These are placing students into different ability levels in a language program and deciding which students will move to the next level in a course, specifying whatever they want to do of that course, if it's a certification or if it's a specific language class in school. And high-stake decisions, these are major life-affecting decisions where the errors are difficult to correct and there are high costs of making the wrong decision. For example, if I want to take a certification or if I want to graduate from an institute or the university. Okay, In the last question, it asks us about why do we link students' assessment performance to beneficial consequences that we help bring about. The first thing that came to my mind was that language assessment is continuous and cyclical because it is a continuous process in support of teaching and learning, whether if it's fast, implicit, explicit, like I mentioned before, summative or formative. But the assessment use is also, it's going to be used throughout the learning process in the following way. I have chosen this example, this graph, this flowchart that will allow us to understand how the use of assessment is applied in a classroom. First of all, we need to have an assessment task, okay? So this means that the skill and material that the teacher provides through instruction. For example, the teacher can ask students to read an article, a magazine article, a current event. And after reading the current event, they must organize the paragraphs according to the sequence. And that's what takes us to the student's performance. That is the skill the students should perform. The assessment records means that there is a score and description. That takes us to decisions. Before or during the student performance, the teacher should provide a rubric or tell the students how they're going to be scored. Once they're scored, the teacher is going to interpret what outcome should come about students' language ability. Okay? Then it takes us to decisions. This is when we consider the stakeholders, what decisions are going to be made. And last but not least, the consequences or the outcome. Okay? Now, it's important to consider this continuous and cyclical loop. I would call it a loop because first you assess, you collect the information of what the students are learning, whether if it's formative or summative. Then you're able to take these decisions, again, whether they're formative or summative. And last but not least, the consequences. That takes us to improve teaching and learning advances or a certification. And that would be all for my presentation. Thank you.